Good afternoon, student. Today I am going to teach you about the sexual reproduction. Okay, and as from the screen it's clear that I am going to tell you about the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Okay, so what is the sexual reproduction? First of all, we should know that what is the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction takes place by the combination of spatial reproductive cells. Clear? When spatial reproductive cells combine together, it is known as the reproduction process. Mean when sex cells combine with each other. Sex cells. Clear? In case of plants, what are the sex cells? Inside the pollen grain, male gamete is present. Okay, inside the pollen grain, because in higher study you will read that pollen grain is completely not a male gamete, means inside the pollen grain two male gametes are present. Okay, so that time inside the pollen grain male gamete is present, so it works as a one sex cells, means male sex cell, and inside the ovary works as female gamete. Clear? Female gamete. So that time it is known as the sex cells. When male gamete combined with female gamete, this process is known as the sexual reproduction. Okay, so these sex cells are known as the gametes. When both the gametes fuses with each other, then it form a new cell, and this new cell is known as the zygote. Clear? When male and female cell combine with each other, it form the zygote. Okay, so zygote is now ready to develop itself into a new organism. Clear? So these gametes are also known as the germ cells. Sex cells, gametes or germ cells. All the three names are same. Okay, so in case of plant, in case of humans, what we use, sperm is known as the male gamete. Clear? And ova is known as the female gamete. If sperm fuse with ova, that time zygote is formed, and this zygote is placed or attached with the uterus wall, and it develops into a fetus. Clear? In due course of time. So this is about the sexual reproduction in humans, but in case of plants it is just all the steps are similar. Clear? But it's having little bit variation. Okay, so we will read about it. Before going on that topic, how the fertilization takes place and what is the pollination process, how the reproduction takes place, first thing is that we should know that what are the sexual part of a flower. Clear? When we understand it, that time it will become very easy to understand the process of reproduction in flowering plants. Okay, the sex organs of a plant are in its flower. Clear? So flower contains the sexual reproductive organs of a plant. We can see that. Okay, so one by one I am going to tell you about this thing. Okay, so the male organ of a flower called stamen. Clear? So male part is known as the stamen. Okay, we can understand it in this picture very easily. Clear? So receptacle is a base of the flower. Clear? Sepals are the green part. Clear? The green part of a flower is known as the sepal. In higher classes you will read about the calyx, corolla. Clear? But now you should know that the green part is known as the sepal, and the beautiful color part, clear, means the colorful part of the flower is called petals. This is the outer roll of the flower. Clear? But what is the reproductive part of a flower? That is of the stamen. stamen, as I told you, it's of male part, and stamen is a male part and carpel is the female part. Okay, so in stamen, from the name it is clear that it is having a little stalk. You can see here the structure is looks like in this format. Okay, so this part is known as the filament, and the pollen grain bearing part is known as the anther. That is known as the anther. So filament is sterile in nature, but anther is fertile in nature. Okay, so top part of the anther is known as the top part of the stamen is known as the anther, and this is only the area where pollen grains stores and develop itself. Okay, what is the pollen grain? The powdery substance which come out from the anther, that is only known as the pollen grain. Clear? And pollen grain is only contain male gamete or male sex cell. Clear? Now, the next thing is about the female part. Female part is carpel, and carpel, if you focus on the middle one part, that is known as the carpel. Okay, female part, gynoecium. Male part is known as the androecium. Okay, so gynoecium, this is known as the stigma, style and ovary. Okay, so stigma, carpel is the female reproductive organ, as I told you. It is composed of three parts: stigma, style and ovary. The topmost part is known as the stigma. Clear? Stigma is very helpful for the landing of pollen grains during the process of pollination. Clear? And stigma is having the sticky nature that pollen grain can stick in this area. Okay, so the middle part is known as the style, and style is just like a tube by which male gamete can enter and reach to the middle part. Okay, ovary is the swollen part at the bottom. Clear? And inside the ovary only ovules are present. Clear? Ovules are basically the female gametes or female sex cells. Clear? The female gametes of a plant are made up of ovary of carpel. Clear? The female organ of a plant is known as the carpel. The whole, this portion is known as the carpel, and another name of carpel is pistil, and one more name is gynoecium. Okay, the flower which contain only one sex means either male or female. Suppose if I am telling you about the this, okay, this picture, you can say that it's in case of papaya, in case of cucumber, or in case of pumpkin. Okay, in case of pumpkin, basically you can observe that male and female parts are different. Clear? And nowadays you can observe it in your surrounding also, because in this season, particular in this season, pumpkin used to grow. Okay, so here you can see that male part contain stamen or female part contain ovary. Clear? So in such condition, when a plant contain only one type of sex is known as the unisexual flower. This is the example of unisexual flower. But in this case, you can see that male and female part, both the parts are present. So that time it's known as the bisexual flower. Okay, I hope that much is clear. Okay, so if you have any question, you can send me your question. Thank you, children.